Namaskar, good evening, Sastrikal. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, EcoVid Eyes of Economics, with the topic Government Budget and the Economy. We have been discussing this chapter since last three videos. So today we will discuss that revenue receipts which I have already introduced, and I hope that you will be enjoying all these previous videos. However, I Vasant Kumar present here with the subtopic that tax receipts of the government budget. Then first of all, let us define what is a tax or what do you mean by tax. Tax is a compulsory payment made by the person on whom it is imposed legally by the government. I repeat, tax is a compulsory payment to the government by the households, firms, or other institutional units. So, on whom it is legally imposed, the person or household or farm owner or industrialist has to pay to the government without expecting any benefits in exchange with the amount of tax. Now, this tax is broadly classified into three categories. One is progressive tax and regressive tax. Number two, value-added tax and specific tax. Then number three, direct tax and indirect tax. We all are familiar and popular with direct tax. Okay, so let us discuss about progressive tax and regressive tax. Progressive tax refers to the tax amount which is levied legally by the government on the household or individual or industrialist or farm owner as their income increases. Proportionately, the percentage of tax increases, irrespective of rich and poor. But the regressive tax is the tax which is levied by the government legally on the person who has to pay as per the income. Suppose for poor and rich, if rich has to pay more, then poor has to pay less. So that you might be knowing different slabs of tax system in India has been identified and marked, so that the poor person should not pay that much percentage of income tax or any tax in comparison with the rich. It is not equivalent. There is a slab of tax in different slabs are made by the government under the Ministry of Finance. So accordingly it is paid by the people. Then value-added tax and specific tax. Value-added tax is that tax which is imposed on the every stages of production of a certain good. Value of goods minus intermediary consumptions. So a product must passes through different stages of production, and different stages has a different tax amount. So that it is known as value-added tax. How much value will be added to the goods and commodities or things, that much taxes will be imposed on that stage, and it passes through different stages, and accordingly the value-added tax, popularly known as VAT, is imposed by the government legally on the production of a certain good. Then specific tax. This tax refers to the amount of payment made by the businessmen or any other farm owners for specific size, specific weight, specific design, and if any special things are added with that commodity or good. So that is known as specific tax. Then let us come to the point, direct tax. The direct tax, according to Professor Dalton. Dalton was one of the eminent and expert economists who has described and also made research on the topic tax. So according to Professor Dalton, a direct tax is really paid by the person on whom it is legally imposed. That means the tax burden and impact cannot be shifted to any other person once it is imposed legally by the government on any individual or person on his income. Income tax is the direct tax paid by the income generating or income earning person directly to the government, and it is deducted from the income. And this tax cannot be shifted to any other. Then indirect tax. Indirect tax, it is also defined by Professor Dalton in this way. An indirect tax is imposed on one person but paid partly or wholly by others. For example, sales tax. That means this tax is imposed, suppose, on any industrialist who is producing a particular product, and that tax can be shifted to the end user or end consumer. The consumer has to pay in different stages because the goods passes through different stages from production unit, that means from producer to stockholder, then to distributor, then to retailer, then to customer. So all these people, those are related to deal with a certain product, starting from production unit or producer, has to pay. So the burden and impact of the tax shifts from one to another, and at last who will consume and purchase that commodity has to pay that amount of tax. That is known as indirect tax. It is a good example, or this is sales tax. Now, a question is arising here. You can note down this question. State the basic difference between direct and indirect taxation. Give an example. I am reading out the answer of this question. I repeat the question once again. State the basic difference between direct and indirect taxation. Give an example for each. I am reading out, so you please listen it carefully and try to understand. While the impact of indirect taxation like sales tax can be shifted on to others, the impact of direct taxation like income tax cannot be shifted. That means the burden and impact of the tax can be shifted in case of indirect tax, and the burden and impact of the tax can be shifted in case of direct tax like income tax. It is deducted from the income amount of the person. Example, a shopkeeper pays sales tax to the government but usually recovers it from the customers as a part of price of the commodity sold. MRP, maximum retail price, inclusive all taxes. So inclusive of all taxes, that means that indirect tax is involved there along with GST, goods and service tax. Now it is introduced under the Ministry of Prime Ministership of Sri Narendra Modi. GST. Now it is implemented on all the goods and services. So that impact of sales tax and indirect tax is ultimately shifted to the consumer, but the impact of income tax is to be finally borne by the taxpayer himself. He cannot shift its burden onto others. Now, one fundamental difference is there. The tax burden can be shifted in case of indirect tax, and the tax burden and impact cannot be shifted in case of direct tax, that is income tax. This is one of the fundamental difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Then let us discuss about non-tax receipts. There are many types of non-tax receipts, as I told you in the last video, like fees, fines, escheat, special assessment, income from public enterprises, income from the sale of spectrum like 2G, 3G, 4G, and grants and donations. So let us take to discuss first point, fees. What is fees? Now fees is a payment to the government for the services that it renders to the people. For example, land registration fees, birth fees, death fees, then you can say passport fees, any legal administrative fees. So that is paid by the concerned person for getting administrative facilities and services from the government. Then fines. Fines are those payments which are made by the lawbreakers to the government. Those who are breaking laws, not obeying the laws of the country, they have to pay fine. And in against all these fees and fines, fees is paid to get services from the government, but fines are legally imposed to control the crimes, to control the overhauling of the law of the country. And these are economic punishments for breaking laws. The aim is not to earn revenue of the government, but to make people respectful to the laws. The government does not aim set to earn revenue by putting fines, but government wants to aware the people not to break the laws, not to break the discipline of the country. Then estate. Estate is an amount which is collected by the government from the property which has no legal heirs. Legal heirs means suppose I have one daughter, no son. Then in my generation, after the marriage of my daughter, that and death of me, then property will be taken by the government if there is no person to claim the possession of that property. So that government also earns some revenue from this type of estate. Then special assessment. Special assessment is always assessed by the government by providing special facilities. For example, in Delhi, if your house is there and the metro station is just near to your house, then the value of your property will increase, then the tax amount will be increased. That is not tax actually, that other things will be increased. For example, as a result of construction of roads or provision of sewerage system, value of the neighboring property may appreciate. That means value will be increased. Suppose you have 1 crore of property near to that metro station. Before construction of that metro station, it was 1 crore. After construction of that metro station near to your house, the property value can increase up to 2 crores or more than 2 crores. So that special assessment is there so that the value it will increase. If you want to sell at the present price, then you have to pay more stamp duty to the government. Then government will be able to collect more non-tax receipts from your property. Right? Then income from public enterprises. Government have invested in public sector companies like Navratnas and Mini Ratnas. For example, that Bhilai Steel Plant, Raulkela Steel Plant, Indian Railway, FCI, Food Corporation of India and Fertilizer Corporation of India. So from all these Navratnas and Mini Ratnas, investment made by the government and government get profit from it for the government's share. So income also being generated from these and it is known as non-tax receipts of the government. Then income from the sale of spectrum like 2G and 3G and 4G by which our internet services are being operated through mobile phone and laptops and desktop. So the government income from the sale of spectrum has emerged as significant source of non-tax receipt of the government. Then grants and donations. Government get grants. This is also one of the sources of government revenue. It is very common for the people to offer donations and grants to the government when there are natural calamities like earthquake, floods and families. You might be popular with this term Pradhan Mantri Vikas Fund, Prime Minister Fund, President Fund. During natural calamities and epidemics, the people contribute also money like Tata, Dhirubhai Ambani, Reliance Group of Industries, and common people also generally contribute as per their capacity to the government, and it is also one of the non-tax receipts government get from public. So this is all about tax receipts and non-tax receipts which raise the revenue of the government. If you like this video, please share, and if you are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and comment so that in future I can produce good quality of video as per your need. Thank you. Thank you for being with me and listening to me carefully. If you have any problem in this chapter, the government budget and the economy, please do not forget to dial me at my cell number 9546489048. I repeat, 9546489048. Good night. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.